So my story is not print related actually. I was in the retail industry for a long time, part of their supply chain. I eventually ended up at eBucks at the reward program for First National Bank, where I looked after their e-commerce side and logistics side. Just before the pandemic hit South Africa, my dad and I had a good discussion and said it's time for me to join the business. And I actually joined Insidedata in level 5 lockdown. I spent 4 or 5 months looking at the website, how do we engage with customers, how does our operational team work? And there were a lot of things that we had to fix. And then COVID obviously disrupted hugely, and that gave me the time as well to understand how do we as an organization need to adapt to be relevant in today's world. We were one of the largest print and mailing houses in South Africa, but when COVID hit, the world moved into the electronic space quickly. But we were fortunate enough that the shareholders were able to see that event prior to COVID. So in 2016, we invested in a digital-only company where we composed the data into a PDF format and distributed electronically. That's where we've noticed the printing side of the business needs to change, because that was our bulk of our revenue. We've got staff here that's worked for us for a really long time, and we are proud to give an unfortunate person that didn't have the privileges that a lot of people experienced to have. So we really didn't want to just close down the print business, so we rather said let's adapt and change, and I think we've done that successfully. So we did some restructuring in the organization. It's actually interesting because you would think the educated folks will adjust quicker, but it's actually the management team and the executive team that took the longest to make that mindshift change. And I think I wasn't stuck, I wasn't in a box, so that was nice for me to join. I think it was perfect timing. We went from 99.8% transactional revenue, it's around 60% of our revenue now, and our goal is for that to be only 10% of our revenue in the future. My professor told me, if you want to work in a warehouse and you never drove a forklift, you've never worked in a warehouse. So I'm a hands-on person. So we've invested in the right equipment for a gap that we believe is in the market. We don't have legacy equipment at all anymore. The machine behind us is our latest one. And we want to go from an uncoated, heavily education market, where we've disrupted in a big way already. We're going to go and disrupt the commercial market as it is today. I make decisions based on odds, and I do believe the early adapters will face a little bit of ups and downs, but I also trust Ricoh in the process of they had the beta test at Sattler Media. So I do believe that yes, there's going to be hiccups, and we'll adapt with those hiccups and we'll figure it out with the Ricoh team. I'm an early adapter. Insidedata as early adapters in our mentality. So we're going to take that risk, we're going to adapt, and I believe the benefits that we'll get from acquiring this machine to the risks outweighs one another. So I'm looking forward to it. Because we were one of the first companies to invest in an inkjet continuous machine in South Africa as well previously. So we understand that model, and technology has adapted over time. We understand it from a service perspective, because you do have an SLA in place with the OEMs, and from an ink perspective. And what we've seen is the machine behind us is more operationally efficient than what we currently have. So we believe it will just bring us more benefits from a profit pool perspective. So one of our non-negotiable requirements were it must be able to print on coated stock. And the minimum stock that we wanted to print on was on 200 GSM. So for us, the Ricoh made sense. Any person that tells you digital equipment isn't finicky, and when I mean finicky, sensitive to the environment, sensitive to the paper, sensitive to everything, that's what these guys are. And I do believe that Ricoh has invested in technology to assist you to keep uptime as high as possible and to ensure that the quality over a run length of 100,000 images remains constant. So that for us was a very important part. So when I joined you, I told our shareholders and executive team, from a print perspective, our biggest benefit is that we do understand the technology terms, APIs, JDFs, all those kind of things. And I think a lot of printers are scared of it. There's people with deep pockets in the world and in South Africa. For them to put this on their floor is an easy task. But to get everything to speak to one another from an efficient perspective is the challenge. Last year, between our two factories, one in Cape Town, one in Joburg, we printed 24,000 different titles, not books quantities, different titles. And we are a printing company that needs to start specializing in logistics, because that is where the money and the efficiency come from. 4 years ago, I thought the 70,000 was new. Now they've got the 80,000. I am pretty convinced they're probably working on the background somewhere on the 90,000 already, right? So I think the technology moves quickly, but what I enjoy about the partnership with Ricoh is they'll tap into the European market and give us insights onto, how does the workflow look like for book printing. So we don't have to build it from the bottom up. We can at least start in the middle. So what excited me the most of this machine is media flexibility, and that gives us a wider product range. So now we can print flyers on demand, we can print desktop calendars on demand. And then the thing that's completely new in South Africa is the wider format that this machine offers you with our sheeting devices that we've put in from with a Technow Revolution 50. We can finished product to 560 by 760, and that's just between B2 and A1, which is completely new for digital, and we are super excited about that capability. I think it's a little bit premature, but what I have noticed is, although you've got a lot of printing knowledge and community in South Africa, they don't understand it yet, because there's not a lot of companies that offers this. But as soon as you started bringing them here and they saw the applications we are able to run now, with the efficiencies on the finishing side, I think that penny dropped now. And I think for me, where I was maybe a little bit nervous 5 weeks ago on the installation, I think we're going to crack it.